Imagine you drank a large soda from a drive-through restaurant, and then you had another half of one on top of that, and that sensation that you would get maybe an hour after that, that sense of urgency to need to go to the restroom. I would get that sensation after drinking a 12-ounce soda or a cup of coffee in the morning. That's how I would describe it. BPH changed my lifestyle. It was interfering with my sleep, waking me up once, 2, 3 times a night. Sometimes I couldn't fall back to sleep. At work it was affecting me. If I was going on a long commute in my automobile, I would start thinking about where I could pull over. The impact of BPH on my family and my spouse, they were understanding of the problem I had, but I can remember being at Disney with my children and they're in a hurry to get on the next ride, wanting to get in line, and where's Dad? Oh, Dad's going to the restroom again, and it oftentimes made me feel like I was holding everybody up. I did have initially some hesitation to speak with the urologist, as I felt that I was having the symptoms at an early age, in my mid to late 40s. I thought that's kind of young for these symptoms, and I felt it was more of a problem that men older than myself, maybe in their 60s or 70s or 80s, would experience. I received an email from my family doctor after she reviewed some of my routine laboratory testing. She informed me that a couple of my kidney function tests were abnormal and advised me to drink more fluids. And that's when it really hit that I was dehydrating myself to some extent to manage my symptoms. My initial conversation with my urologist, he outlined several different options beyond medication. I had concerns about some of the side effects that could be associated with those procedures, potential for incontinence, potential for sexual dysfunction, recovery time. I realized that those options weren't something I wanted to pursue at that time. I first heard about the iTind procedure during a routine follow-up visit with my urologist. I opted for the iTind procedure because I viewed it as being less invasive than other surgical options my urologist had discussed with me. It had a quick recovery time with low likelihood of having to have a catheter after the procedure, and low likelihood, in my view, of sexual dysfunction or any long-term side effects like incontinence. I took the first few days off of work. I actually had the procedure just prior to a weekend, but the final 3 days of the iTind in place, I worked. I went to my regular schedule, and as far as when I was at home, I had a leisurely activity status. I spent more time watching TV and reading. I didn't do any house chores or anything, but other than that, it was my normal routine. During the removal of the iTind, I was fully conscious. I didn't require any medication or sedation for the procedure. A very brief discomfort for a few seconds, and it was out. And at that point, I felt immediate relief. It's been 15 months since the iTind has been removed, and I've had a significant improvement in the quality of my life. The day I had it removed, immediately after that, went to the restroom, and I was just amazed at the increase in velocity of my urine flow. When I go to a sporting event and it's my turn to go up to the stall, I'm not worried, and I was subconscious about holding other people up. I can take long bike rides with my family and not have to worry about urgently finding a restroom in an area where there isn't a restroom. I can go on long walks with my dogs without having to worry about finding a restroom midway and what am I going to do with my dogs, especially if I'm by myself. I can drink 2 cups of coffee before I drive to work. I don't have to limit my coffee in the morning. I have less interruptions at work to go to the restroom. It's been decreased significantly. I'm sleeping through most nights now without having to awaken to go to the restroom, whereas before I was up every night at least 1 or 2 times a night. My family's noticed that I'm not interrupting our activities as frequently to find a restroom, and they're happy for me. They're glad that the procedure helped me. Hi, I'm Jim, and I had the iTind procedure.